Good morning, everyone. Fatty from Pack a Punch Traders here. Gonna do a video lesson going over yesterday's action, what was moving, as well as top plays from the watch list that we're about to look for in an hour. So let's just dive right into this. Didn't get a chance to make a video yesterday. So yesterday, probably one of the hottest plays, BBBY. This was one that was missed by me, but was on watch for a open price VWAP claim. And this one and PRTY were going off, if you remember these recently. But I opted to ignore PRTY and focus more on BBBY, even though I didn't trade it. But the reason I was focusing more on BBBY compared to PRTY is really just how much it was up. If you look at this play here, it absolutely took off from roughly 20 all the way to 75 in a matter of a couple days. Then we got BBBY here, which as of yesterday was only up maybe roughly 100%. So in my eyes, there was still more momentum left with BBBY, considering it wasn't up so much, and that a lot of people would be shorting it or selling their gains into the spike. So it just seemed momentum-wise, this one still had an angle while PRTY was reaching the end of its party. So that's why I ignored this one, even though I did fail to capture BBBY. It was really just the overall placement of the price where it was at. So this one here was still breaking over the 2-ish area as well. That previous high a day still has increasing volume, where PRTY had its blow off top volume for the squeeze. So that's really all I was looking for yesterday. BBBY was setting up, and it had some decent volume pickup, which usually indicates higher prices. But when we look for that blow off top kind of volume like this, usually that spells the end of the move, or near the end of the move, as it's heading up. If it were to be the opposite, heading lower, and you're getting this massive selling, I would look at it as volume exhaustion to the downside. So it can't sustain this. Solid gap up here, but this, in my eyes, is what PRTY was yesterday. So I will be ignoring this one for today. Just want to go over my thought process yesterday, why I would choose one spiker over the other. So yeah, I just wanted to go over that. Yesterday, I ended up missing BWEN, which was very annoying in the morning for that open price VWAP claim. Had it all live on Tradecaster. Missed my execution at 393. Had my limit order, and it just took off. And before I knew it, it was halted at 460, all in a matter of a minute. It just took off and did 15%. So ended up really ignoring the market yesterday for most of the day. The only thing I did take was TRKA. Here, let me show this one a little bit further. I was looking for the failure to break down over this key area in the 350s, 60s, but ultimately the 380s. And then looking for a quick move to test 5. As after 4, I'm thinking it could move a 10, 15, 20% to test the next whole dollar, half dollar area. I guess whole dollar area, half dollar would have been 4.5. But yeah, here we just have horrible history, some history of moving, but ultimately great chart to short into. Each pop just fades. As you can see, the chart is heading from the top left to the bottom right. So I was thinking if shorts fail to break this thing down, we will get a squeeze, and that is what happened. Just sucks that I missed it, and that kind of threw me off, so I ignored the market and ended up coming back and playing TRKA. I got an average of 13.87 here. We got a little bit of a breakout over 12.7. A little bit of a perk in demand. Thinking we can get to the next resistance area around 17. I was looking for a gap up. Still have an hour left, but as of now, pre-market not looking like it's going to do that, but still holding up. We'll likely cut it here around 13, just above that, if it fails to break or if it fails to hold up and push higher. So this one will be on watch today for a possible move if it confirms the red to green area, previous high day level. And from there, looking for a move to test 16 to 17 cents. Also going to keep an eye on swivel. We got a possible multi-day bounce. Been on radar the past few days. It's multi-day bounce, now needs a multi-day bounce. Solid bottom wick yesterday with fading volume. I know I like to see the volume exhaustion as a possible bottoming indicator, but at the same time, look at where this has come from. So it was up in the 40s, 30s here, and selling comes through, and you got all these sellers, but now as it's pushing lower, that angle changes. So there's less and less sellers as it's pushing lower. There's less force behind that move. So it makes me think momentum could reverse and we can get that momentum shift. So SWVL, MEGL as well, looking for the multi-day bounce. This one I also have a position in, still just 500 shares, 224 average. So still failing to break down, which shows me that we might still get another bounce move besides this weak little move here. Still holding around 2, hold dollar, half dollar area, slightly making higher lows. This thing just really needs demand to pick up, and I think we can get back into the high 2s, 3-ish area. What else we got here? This was on watch, but now it's getting stuffed. It's below 30 cents. Maybe set an alert for it to come back to the 37, 40 cent area from yesterday. But right now, this thing is looking weak, getting stuffed, weak volume, mainly selling going on. So that's an ignore for now. BOXD ideally fades a bit more, but we got an insane push from 20 cents to 65-ish cents. And now we got a first red day. Just going to look for that momentum shift, but ideally pulls back a bit more. And here's PRTY. Jumping a little bit here pre-market. So not the biggest fan of that, but still we'll keep an eye on it for a multi-day bounce. Held red green very well so far. And we're climbing, trying to get to pre-market highs at 36 cents. So we'll see. Just look for failure to break down and demand coming back, looking for that high day break entry. Already up decently. Average move is 30% from previous close. This one does have some range, so maybe it will move higher. But keep an eye on PRTY. And same thing with BWEN. If this thing could fail to break down, as we talked about, we're expecting shorts to be packing this. If this fails to break down, we can come back for a 5 previous high at daybreak. I don't see why not. Lower market cap, not that huge of a flow. Really just need demand to pick up and for it to hold the key areas we're looking for. Around red green to 5-ish. EBON, another multi-day bounce that you could keep on watch, but ideally fades a bit more.